Hepatitis is characterized by inflammation of the liver. In some cases, it can be caused by drugs, alcohol use, or certain medications, but most often it is caused by a virus. The most common types of hepatitis in Canada are hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C.
Candy is a sex trade worker who is also addicted to heroin. Candy lives in a poor area of town, and when she doesn't have a place to stay with friends, often sleeps on the street. As student nurses who are volunteering at the methadone clinic, we saw the opportunity to educate Candy and her peers of the risks their lifestyles pose, focusing on hepatitis.
Hepatitis A is a highly contagious and usually transmitted through oral fecal contamination. Once antibodies are produced, it provides immunity for life. Risk factors include children in daycare, military troops living in crowded conditions, and those living in heavily populated and squalid conditions. Homosexual men are also at risk because of oral-anal sexual contact, as well as those who travel to regions where hepatitis A is prevalent. Preventative measures for hepatitis A include proper hand washing, vaccinations, and food contamination awareness. Travel precautions include peeling and washing all fresh vegetables yourself and drinking bottled water.
Hepatitis B can be short and acute or long-term and chronic. 90% of infants born by an infected mother will become chronically infected, whereas only 2 to 6% of adults will end up having long-term or chronic issues. Chronic infections can lead to cirrhosis or liver cancer. Risk factors include working with blood products, injecting drugs, infected mothers giving birth, those who have sex with an infected partner, and those who travel to regions where hepatitis B is prevalent. Preventative measures include engaging in safe sex practices, not sharing needles, wearing gloves when handling blood products, caution with tattoos and piercings, and vaccinations.
Hepatitis C is a bloodborne virus where some experience short-term illness, but 70 to 85% suffer long-term and chronic illness. This can result in serious long-term health problems and even death. Most infected persons lack symptoms of being clinically ill. Risk factors include exposure to infected blood, if an infected needle pierces your skin, injecting drugs, if you are HIV positive, piercings and tattoos in unsterile environments, people who engage in risky sexual behaviors, or who have sexually transmitted diseases. Infants born to infected mothers are also at risk. Preventative measures include practicing safe sex, caution with body piercings and tattoos, and changing drug use behaviors.
Normal liver physiology will include metabolism, detoxification, storage, and protein production. The liver will metabolize carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins within the blood into useful materials. The liver usually removes toxic substances and bilirubin from the blood. The liver is a place of storage for nutrients, vitamins, and minerals obtained from the blood, including glucose. Lastly, the liver produces proteins such as prothrombin and fibrinogen, which are blood clotting factors, and albumins, which aid in the removal of bilirubin along with old red blood cells. Hepatitis is caused by hepatotropic viruses that target the hepatocytes, otherwise known as liver cells. The liver can be injured through direct cellular injury and/or induction of immune responses against viral antigens. Once infected, the virus will flow through the bloodstream to the liver. It will bind onto a protein receptor within the cell membrane of the hepatocytes. Next, the virus will hijack the cell's DNA and cause synthesis of proteins that the virus needs to reproduce and survive.
Common symptoms of hepatitis A, B, and C may include malaise, high temperature, stomach pain, dark urine, and jaundice. These signs will occur relatively quickly in acute hepatitis, whereas when hepatitis B and C become chronic, they may not cause symptoms for years.
The normal production of proteins by the liver is disrupted, and production of viral proteins takes over. This disrupts homeostasis, causing the symptoms associated with hepatitis. Fever occurs, raising body temperature in attempt to kill the virus. Abdominal pain occurs due to inflammation of the liver. Inflammation is the body's immune response to cells being attacked by the virus. Jaundice occurs due to hepatocytes being destroyed and the liver being unable to take up bilirubin from the blood. Darkened urine is the result of excess bilirubin secreted in the urine. Malaise is due to less energy as a result of decreased glucose uptake.
After reviewing how hepatitis is transmitted, the symptoms and associated risk factors, as well as the physiology and best practices for prevention, Candy realizes that she needs to take better precautions when it comes to sharing needles and her risky sexual behaviors.